The Great War is over. All we want is to return home. To the new republic, born in the heart of Europe. But we are stuck, as the escalating civil war blocks the direct path to the west. The only way out is to the east, through territory disputed between the Red and White armies. We have to take an armored train across Siberia, and then safe passage home by ship. It is our only chance to survive this long journey. It might be our last train home.
During the Great War, later known as World War I, the Czechoslovak Legion was commissioned to fight on Russia's behalf in exchange for support for an independent Czechoslovak Republic. However, the Great War exacted tremendous loss of life and economic collapse in Russia, igniting a revolution that deposed the Tsar and devolved into a bloody civil war. The Bolsheviks established the Red Army to consolidate power and rule over a united Russia, whereas the White Army rallied to oppose the Reds. The Czechoslovak Legion was now in a very delicate position, an armed force in a foreign land with no clear allegiance to the Reds or Whites. Moreover, Russia's western borders were still held by powers opposing the establishment of Czechoslovakia. Thus, the Czechoslovak Provisional Government ordered the legionaries to remain neutral and travel eastward to Vladivostok to board ships back to Europe. Nonetheless, during its evacuation via the Trans-Siberian Railway, the Legion became embroiled in armed conflicts affecting the course of the Russian Civil War. Now, we learn the story of The Last Train Home, a work of fiction inspired by the writings of a brilliant member of the Czechoslovak Legion and a veritable instrument of history. The story begins with an ambitious captain under the command of Major Gazdik, who leads the last unit of Czechoslovak legionaries, headed to Vladivostok by armored train. Cheer up, Captain. The train needs a checkup and we can be on our way. I heard you bragged you'd be a better major than I am. So, let's see how well you do in command. Let's take a squad and go trade with the local miller, while the rest of the legionaries look after the train. Someone's lying there.
Are you here to kill me now?
No, ma'am. We are Czechoslovak legionaries on our way to Vladivostok. We wanted to buy supplies from your mill, but found it burning. Who did this?
Bolsheviks. They demanded we hand over our winter supplies in the name of Lenin. My son refused. We have a family to feed, he said. So they killed him. And the children. You soldiers are all the same. Killing is all you know. Just leave and let me die in peace.
If the Bolsheviks wanted food, why did they leave the sacks to burn with the mill?
It was never about the food. This is what you get for refusing to collaborate with the Red Army. The Reds who burned this farm may not know we are here, but we can't risk the train. Find a good spot to scout the train track ahead. If there's trouble, at least we'll be ready.
Look! It's the Reds who killed the miller's family and burned everything! They deserve to die!
Stand down, soldier. The Red Army will answer for crimes against their own countryfolk, but not to us. We are still in Russian lands and have a long way ahead of us. We don't want to be making enemies.
Not to mention causing diplomatic incidents that endanger our new republic.
Enough chatter. Get back to the train. Maybe we can find more supplies on the way. We're Czechoslovak legionaries on our way to Vladivostok. Can you tell us what happened here?
The Red Army came for recruits and provisions. We told them to leave, but they just laughed and took whatever they wanted. They killed everyone who resisted. We saw trucks full of artillery shells driving towards the river. My sister lives there. I'm worried sick. Please, help.
We came here to trade for supplies, not to get involved in Russian affairs. But the Reds attacked us before, and they are clearly up to no good here. We simply cannot risk the train. So, we have to go and find out what is going on.
Looks like they sabotaged the bridge. We'll have to fix it to cross.
You can find tools and materials in a nearby camp. Right over there.
The enemy seems to hold a good defensive position with full cover. If we don't have the range or grenades, we'll have to storm their position.
Those must be the trucks used to transport artillery shells. We must stop them.
There's nothing a grenade can't stop.
What is it? Grenade!
Say the word.
That bridge looks perfect for an ambush. We should not proceed until we figure out what could await us on the other side. Does anyone have binoculars?
Oh, they know we're here. They'll be coming for us. Let's set up the machine gun and give them hell.
Here they come. Stand your ground.
Taking cover. Ready. Moving.
I'm under fire.
The rest of them are not stupid enough to come at us after watching their buddies by on the bridge.
So let's call in an artillery strike and make those bastards pay for their crimes. Look at her blow!
We came here to get supplies for our journey. Let's get them and leave this place.
Yes, sir.
I feel bad taking the supplies.
Orders?
The Reds must have
Understood.
stolen them from the villagers.
The villagers are dead. And we will be too if we don't get moving.
Yes, sir.
We can use cloth for uniforms and blankets. We'll be headed deep into Siberia and...
And winter is coming.
Carry on.
Ready, sir?
Is that coal?
I'm waiting.
Good.
Finders keepers.
Fuel is the most precious resource on our journey.
Isn't food our most precious resource?
Oh, of course. At the next depot, we should buy a locomotive that runs on berries. Maybe we can also burn berries to keep warm on the train as we cross Siberia.
What the... Major, that train is heading right for ours at top speed!
Damn it, the Reds mean to ram us. Legionaries, brace yourselves! General Morozov.
I had a feeling we'd meet again.
You are a liar and a coward.
How so?
Wreck a train of soldiers on their way home when there is no war between our nations.
Allow me to remind you that I gave you an option, Major. Lay down your weapons, and you may cross Siberia in peace. More than fair. And the offer still stands, minus the train. Now, order your unit to surrender.
You know I will not do that.
Loyal to the bitter end. I respect that. May God rest your soul, Brother Gazdik.
Get Captain Lanker. He must have a way to get us to Vladivostok.
They've murdered Major Gazdik. We can't let this go unanswered.
So what now? We just let that coward get away?
Major Gazdik would not want us to risk our lives just for the sake of revenge. We should look for Captain Langer, per our original orders. He's been stationed in Moscow for a while, and we must know some way for us to get out of here.
Where is Major Gazdik?
He's gone. It was that bastard Morozov.
It has begun then. The Reds, spreading their one truth in the name of unity. There will be civil war.
Our train was destroyed. Most of our unit died in there.
We must depart as soon as possible. There is another train we can board. Here is a map of the city. If you can reach this train depot, we can secure another train. Be careful. The Reds probably know we're looking for a new train and will be guarding the depot fiercely. I will gather my unit discreetly and join you at the depot. Wait for us there. I first met our commanding officer in Moscow. It was on the eve of the revolution, and the city was awash with fears of civil war. The Reds issued an ultimatum that led to violence. We lost Major Gazdik and many good soldiers. The Czechoslovak Legion was seen as a threat because we were a professional army with no clear allegiance. They wanted us disarmed, detained, and if we resisted, dead. But we weren't interested in the bloody affairs of that foreign land. All we wanted was safe passage out of Russia, to our new republic, to our home. And indeed, those were our orders. Reach Vladivostok by train and board a ship for the journey home. To my surprise, I was not invited to lead this campaign, despite my experience in the field. Instead, I was merely an advisor and adjutant to our commander. It was an outrage. But at that time, I had no good reason to challenge our provisional government. We barely escaped Moscow with our lives, but managed to secure an armored train for our long and difficult journey. Major, I've been informed of your promotion. I'm Captain Langer. You may read my service record later. I've been assigned to your unit to act as your adjutant, and, if I may be so bold, your advisor. Now, orders have arrived from the provisional government of the Czechoslovak Republic. They commend our heroic sacrifices on the Eastern Front, which helped secure the independence of our new republic. However, Russia is officially in a state of civil war, and our old wartime enemies have blockaded all direct routes westward. To go west, we must go east. On this armored train, from Moscow all the way across Siberia to Vladivostok, where we will complete our evacuation by sea. Furthermore, we've been instructed not to interfere in the conflict between the Reds and Whites. We are to remain neutral and let the Russian people sort out their own affairs. No mention on how we can stay neutral if we're actually attacked. I'm sure all this looked good on paper. Anyway, a long and arduous journey awaits us. We should leave immediately and stop at Penza for further orders. It seems that the bulk of the Red garrison are not around. Probably up to no good again. Lucky for us, they left behind very few guards. Out of hubris or incompetence, I do not know. A good opportunity for us to raid their camp. Supplies, money, weapons. Take what you can, destroy what you can't. Search for documents in particular. In our predicament, accurate intelligence may be worth more than gold. Be careful, though. These hills are perfect for machine gun nests. Better if we secure such positions. And be quick about it. There's no telling how long the Reds will be away. It appears that a sizable enemy patrol is approaching. I strongly advise we attack, while we still hold the advantage of surprise. The last thing we want is for them to call in reinforcements.
Captain, we have retrieved field orders, reports, and requisition requests.
I see. It appears the Reds were deployed here on some sort of special operation. Dear God. This cannot be true. These reports indicate nothing short of genocide.
That was taken care of. Their commanding officer is returning with his personal guard. Probably bored of terrorizing civilians.
We must put an end to this murderous bastard and his savage lackeys. Good riddance. Our job here is done. Let's find our way out so we can get back to the train.
Yes?
Do you think that if we just asked nicely, they'd let us use the depot to conduct repairs and improvements?
I'm sure you can convince them with your charm.
Enough. The Reds won't even let us pass with our train. We'll have to capture the train station. So, we'd better start focusing on clearing the station areas.
This place is crawling with Reds. We should consider remaining undetected for as long as possible.
They won't see us if we hide in the bushes or high grass. And if we move really slow, they won't hear us coming. Just hide, wait for them to get close, then sneak up from behind and take them out. Clean and easy.
Just please make sure no one fires by accident. gunshots are not very stealthy.
I can't believe you actually succeeded. But this is not over.
Say the word.
You must drive the Reds out. However, it is advisable to disrupt their patrol and supply lines before attempting a major offensive. Good. Now that their patrol and supply lines are disrupted, we can plan our offensive of the Red base of operations. We believe they are stationed at the cathedral. A perversion. They like to slight the Whites that way. No use in storming the cathedral itself, but we should eliminate their garrison. Be careful. There must still be many of them around. How else could they have taken the entire city?
We've given up hope. Thank you for doing this.
They look half dead. We will pick them up later.
I can't wait to see what they have in the depot.
Orders? I'll see to it.
Assuming
We've managed to cleanse the city of this red plague.
that should give the locals at least a small sense of regained freedom.
Indeed. But it's unlikely they will get to enjoy it for long. Let's move. This factory complex is probably critical to the Red Army's military production capacity. It's heavily guarded because they know that if we manage to destroy those silos, we can delay and even halt their advancement. They seem to have artillery guns, so I strongly advise you find an alternative route to those silos. The lives of our soldiers are more precious than your glory.
I wouldn't mind taking a swing at those artillery crews.
You've caused quite an upheaval. Red reinforcements are inbound across the bridge. I don't recommend waiting to meet them in person. Rather, try to destroy the bridge with explosives. Let's find our way out so we can get back to the train. The inexperience of our commanding officer soon became apparent. The morale of the unit suffered, and every day our hopes were dashed by the conflict that raged around us. Some of us even felt we had it better back in the trenches. That fear, it never left us. Nor did the longing for our homeland, or our courage. For we stopped and saved fellow legionaries where we could, even if it cost us dearly. Yet, our nation's leaders continued to stress the importance of our neutrality, while at the same time ordering us to secure military objectives, often to help the Whites. Slowly, I realized the futility of our position. It had become impossible to remain impartial. Looking back, I would not want the burden of responsibility our commander bore. The hunger, anger, and despair of so many lives was difficult to withstand, as was the fighting, which went on and on without relent. A storm upon a restless human sea. Orders, Major. They say our train will be the last one leaving for Vladivostok. The fact is, our legionaries are scattered up and down the line. It's imperative we bring everybody home, so we'll have to search the villages and regroup at certain stations, and without a fuss. It's important we don't push the Reds too far. This isn't our fight. That said, it seems everyone's a communist now, and they all want our guns. There may be no other option than to fight our way through. Logistics are now our primary concern. The more weapons and supplies we can add to our reserves, the greater our chances of surviving what awaits us in Siberia. The Reds have no intention of allowing us to continue east towards Vladivostok. An ambush is most likely waiting for us at this railroad bridge. Artillery. No doubt ready to tear our train to pieces if we attempt to cross. So, we must cross the bridge on foot and find out exactly what the Reds have planned for us. I expect it will be heavily defended. There is also a police officer we need to meet with. He's requested our assistance. We've been led to believe that obliging him will improve our standing with the Whites. Let's try not to cause too much fuss just yet.
Thank God you're here. The Reds forced me to work with their militias investigating opposition groups in the city. They've had me create incriminating records about ordinary citizens who expressed opinions against the Reds. Currently, the documents are boxed up in the courtyard at the police station. One of the Red officers took the key to the main gate. You can probably find him near the riverbank. If you could make those documents disappear, I'll take care you would be saving lives.
Well, that's taken care of. I hope our police officer friend will be pleased.
His compatriots will escape the firing squads.
Artillery, as expected. We should destroy it. A high-ranking officer is indeed overseeing this operation. They must think we are very important. Let's not disappoint them. The Red Commander's dead. Hopefully his replacement will be less competent. Good work. These guns would have blown our train to pieces, and the bridge with it. It felt strange as a soldier, traveling so much by train. Stopping only to strike a deal or to bury our dead. Many of the people we encountered supported the Reds. And though they resented the Civil War, they believed in the meaningful changes it might bring. As for ourselves, we tried to raise our spirits. Playing cards, singing songs, entertaining each other with stories and plays from home. But deep down, we all knew how far we had to go to reach Vladivostok and meet with a ship. Tracks ahead. So often they appeared to end in an infinite horizon. Still, even though I could not admit it at the time, our commander had grown in confidence and was beginning to show some promise. Orders, Major. The Provisional Government wants us to cooperate with the Whites. They're offering us safe passage for the journey east, but not unconditionally, of course. The Whites demand that we help shift the Reds from strategic positions, by force, if necessary, and wherever possible, to probe their lines and gather intelligence. That would appear to put an end to this neutrality business. Further orders will reach us at Omsk. Our situation is going from bad to worse. I strongly suggest we push forward. The ship at Vladivostok. I don't know how long it will wait. And we still need to collect necessary provisions to keep us alive in Siberia. After all, that's our primary concern. Survival. Looks like they didn't skimp on the explosives. You need to get to each of those sites and hold the position long enough to defuse the bombs. The main roads are heavily guarded, so you might want to avoid them. Our scouts also suggest there may be resources to gather in the area.
Don't go this way unless you're prepared to charge a machine gun head-on. Look for a small path near the rail bridge. It will bring you right to their backs. If you slaughter the Bolshevik pigs, take some of my supplies. They're in the backyard nearby. I'd rather let you have it than allow them to take it.
Reds are coming. Get our soldiers to cover. More Reds may come. Remain vigilant. I hope it was worth the trouble.
Our first priority is to disable the transmission tower and thus stop the Reds from inciting the locals against us. We also need to find the legionaries that spoke on the radio to fuel the anti-Legion propaganda. They're probably prisoners. Remember, the Reds hold the city, so we need to keep a low profile. Don't let the lies and hate get under your skin. Transmission is over. Now, let's get to the propagation center and destroy whatever they manage to print.
Legionaries? I heard only bad things about you. But you are the only ones who stopped to help me. I tell you what, I have a stash hidden in the cemetery. Take whatever you need.
You are free. Are any of you legionaries? Perhaps someone who spoke recently on the radio?
We are not legionaries, but we were forced to speak against you on the radio. Please, don't kill us.
Contrary to what you declared on the radio, we mean you no harm. Come, we'll get you to safety.
Listen, there was a Czech guy, but he didn't make it. Might have been your man? That's all I know, sorry.
I'm listening.
And thank you.
This will slow down the Red propaganda. Hopefully long enough for the people to see our actions for what they are.
As we fought our way to Vladivostok, we were overtaken by events. News of atrocities reached us at every station. Sometimes it was the work of the communists. Sometimes nationalists. Other times, we were blamed. A ridiculous falsehood, widely circulated through propaganda. The Whites, at this point, had lost the initiative, but none of their hatred for the Reds. The violence, spurred by opposing ideologies, horrified us. Both believed they were saving Russia. However, all we saw was a country tearing itself apart. Truth be told, we'd become sick of politics, A feeling like we had to choose a side. And yet, it was unavoidable. Talks between our provisional government and the White Army faltered. My own brother even wrote to me, warning about widespread support for further compromises. Of course, we had no idea how far-reaching these would be. Orders, Major. More of our trains have been stopped by the Reds outside Vladivostok. And, on top of that, we're receiving reports of minor scuffles with the Whites. Sounds like we're running out of friends. The provisional government insists we de-escalate this crisis. Their plan involves a renewed effort to collaborate with the White Army by helping them secure the Imperial State gold reserves. The gold itself is currently on a train and heavily guarded by the Reds. We are to intercept the train and retrieve its cargo. We should then deliver to Novo-Nikolaevsk. Our leaders are convinced the gold can serve as collateral and will motivate the Whites to give us safe passage or even help us. Our liaison with the Whites, Captain Korolev, will meet us at the next station, Tatarskaya. He'll provide us with the necessary information.
The villagers' conflict with the Reds has been going on for some time. We don't know what the situation is. Better head out to the nearby lookout tower. It'll help us locate the village and spot trouble. There's the village. Let's see if anyone can tell us what's been going on.
There they are!
Have you come to help? The Reds set up camp nearby and have been terrorizing our village since. Their commanding officer sends them to loot and do unspeakable acts of violence. They even broke our bridge. We have the tools to fix it. But we are afraid to leave the village undefended. Take the repair kit from the crate. If you fix the bridge, you will be able to flank the Reds. They plan to kill us all. Please, deliver us from this evil.
Good God! They're setting up the artillery to erase the village from the face of this earth! We must hurry!
You hear that? It's the sound of silence.
Good. They don't know we're here. Let's keep it that way for as long as possible. The gold train has a substantial security detail. And the city is heavily garrisoned, so the Reds are not worried. But make no mistake, they will die before they surrender that gold. So get to the train station swiftly and quietly. If you have to fight, make it quick and deadly.
Enemy spotted.
Those are some fine-looking trucks.
Oh, yes. They seem to be in better condition than the Reds guarding them.
If they can't fix the train, the Reds will try to transport the gold by truck. Don't give them the chance to do so.
It's the Legionaries. They're after the gold! We need to go!
So much for handling things swiftly and quietly. Let's just go for quick and deadly.
Comrades! We're stoking the engine and should be ready to leave in 10 minutes.
I guess that wasn't meant for us, but we should take heed anyway if we want that gold.
This train is ours now, and so is the gold.
I don't think this will dissuade the Reds from attempting to murder us. Or quite the contrary.
That seems to be all of them.
At one point there, I thought we were done for.
They were good, but we were better.
Now that the gold is in our hands, we can use it to bargain for safe passage to Vladivostok. The capture of the gold from the Reds should have been enough for the Whites to leave us alone. Yet their demands continued. As the tide turned against them, they became increasingly desperate, and we were all but forced to share our weapons and supplies, leaving us with almost nothing. We were even coerced into taking on civilian passengers. No one could seem to agree on who they were or why they needed our protection. And no information was forthcoming from our provisional government, even though it was on their orders. But all knew they would likely bring us trouble. For my part, I only misjudged how much. Orders, Major. Honestly, I'm not sure what you'll make of them. We are to stop at Yurga Station. A woman is waiting for us there, Mrs. Demidova. She travels with 5 youngsters and a man. For some reason, we've been asked to take them with us and safely escort them all the way to Nizhny Udinsk. That's all we know. I'd send a message back, but we have already been instructed not to inquire further. Suffice to say, this is most irregular. I would advise we proceed with caution and question Mrs. Demidova regarding the circumstances of her travel. Something about this doesn't feel right.
Our primary target is the sawmill. The Reds have captured it, and our main mission is to take it from them and save the hostages there. The Reds have established a strong force here, and it has taken a toll on the locals. They lost their granary.
Moving.
We might help them to regain it. We are here. Now let's establish a solid position while we search for any sawmill workers that might still be alive.
Yes, sir.
All of them. They're all dead. One of the bodies was clutching a key.
Take a look.
We should look around and see what it unlocks. Well. What do we have here?
The rail tracks go directly through this valley, so the Reds saw fit to prepare an ambush for our train. Let's find out their plans and foil them. We need to clear all threats to the tracks and to our train.
Yes. On my way.
Greetings, fellow legionaries. We're here to help. You lead, we follow.
Isn't this our lucky day?
You're walking right into a trap, comrades.
Yes?
Turn back while you still can.
Taking position.
There's many of them, and they want you dead.
Surely, the Reds realize that an armored train that can withstand an artillery barrage wouldn't get derailed by a log.
Now, don't spoil the surprise. Let's remove the log. I'm curious what other textbook ambush the Reds thought up.
Enemy spotted!
Madmen, they blew up the track. We have to look for tools to repair it.
The Reds are fleeing. Let's go after them. It's probably another trap, but we should teach them a lesson.
I'm
God
going.
bless you. The Reds stole the holy icons and then burned the church. Would have burned me too, if not for you. Please, help us retrieve the icons. Without the church, these are the only symbols of faith left to us.
Taking position.
Yet another attempt by the Reds to delay us. This trap is more effective than the log,
As you
but
say,
still
sir.
so predictable.
Nonsense. Every opportunity to blow things up is appreciated. I'm sure they have explosives somewhere near. No icons in sight.
Ready?
Maybe the priest was lying and just wanted us to kill the Reds. I have mixed feelings. Let's hope other Reds get the message and don't try this again.
The tracks ahead look
Consider it done,
safe.
sir.
Let's return to the train and be on our way.
Understood.
Eventually, we learned the truth about the children we were transporting. And I was furious. Furious with our leaders for jeopardizing our journey home. Our passengers. To the Reds, they were enemies of the state. And so were we for transporting them. To this day, I cannot fathom why our leaders chose to risk our lives without even warning us of the danger. I remember feeling like a puppet, a marionette dangling from an unseen hand. Even the long-awaited telegram, bringing news of the birth of our republic, did not console me. How could it? It arrived on the day of that fateful battle. The battle that changed everything. The battle that changed us. Orders, Major. Our leaders commend our resolve in traveling through Siberia and eagerly await news of our arrival at Vladivostok. They say a steamship's been chartered and the port is well defended. If we can reach it, we might actually get out of this mess alive. They also say a supply train will meet us at Irkutsk. The White Army have pledged substantial material support. Admittedly not weapons, but food, fuel, and other essentials. Though, of course, we'll still need to forage for supplies. Smile, Major. The cold might not kill us after all.
Legionaries, welcome to Irkutsk. If you're here for the supply train, you should know that it never arrived.
What do you mean? Arrangements have been made. Our soldiers are hungry and...
Captain, I do not know. We've been busy fighting to maintain control of the city. Many of my soldiers are dead.
I am sorry. The information from our provisional government must be outdated.
The Reds have recruited many sympathizers in the city and attacked us with overwhelming force. Our unit retreated to this side of the bridge to protect the station. But we are very hard-pressed. If the Reds take the bridge, everything is lost. My men, this station, your train, everything.
Then we shall assist you and make sure that doesn't happen. The Whites at the bridge are being overrun. Major, if the Reds take the bridge and reach the station, our train and everyone on it will be in grave danger.
You legionaries fight well. I hope we never find ourselves on opposite sides.
Captain Belov, we came here to meet with a supply train that your leaders promised. What happened?
Go into the city and find the other White Army units, or what is left of them. They might know about your supply train.
We have to go into the city anyway. We're running very low on supplies as it is.
Engaging!
Nobody asked you for help. We were managing just fine. But I guess you're in charge until we get out of the city. Thank you. I thought my days were numbered. I'll come with you.
On the move!
I don't see any...
So few survived. The presence of the Reds must be much stronger than we thought.
Many of the locals joined them. By the time we realized the threat, it was too late.
Do you know what happened to the supply train?
Supply train? No, sir. We were stockpiling weapons and ammunition in the plaza. If you set up defensive positions around the plaza, the convoy might stand a chance. When we retreated, we probably left behind some cannon or heavy machine gun. If it's still there, use it. A cannon? Sign me up.
Very well, then. We've come this far already. The least we could get out of it is the ammo we spent.
I'm sure Captain Belov will be happy to share some supplies. We owe you our lives.
Ready?
I'm all ears. I'll see to it, sir.
Your orders? Consider it done.
Who makes an ammo dump in the middle of a plaza?
Some hoarder who skipped safety training and wants to go out with a bang.
We have finished loading up the supplies. The trucks are departing now.
We will hold this position and secure the evacuation. The trucks have evacuated safely. Fall back across the bridge before the Reds overrun our position.
No! This city is flooded with Reds and all of them are on their way here, in tanks. We cannot wait any longer. We risk everything. Blow up the bridge, Private Artyom. They've abandoned us. Again.
First the missing supply train, now the bridge.
On the move.
We had made arrangements. We had made agreements. I don't understand.
Perhaps all is not lost. If we can reach the pier, we can cross the river by ferry and...
And at the train station, we will meet the people who blew up the bridge and left us here surrounded by red tanks.
My friend, I am certain that was not an easy decision for Captain Belov. Even less so for his men. You will be allowed to return to your train in peace. Please, let's hurry to the ferry.
This is it. Bring all our soldiers on the ferry so we can get back to the train station. We will see what Belov has to say for himself.
Go, quickly! We'll cover you! We owe it to you. Our leaders may be cowards, but we are not.
A supply train. In this weather, it's impossible to tell what happened. Or when. This is an important supply route. So Whites likely have an encampment nearby. Let's follow the railway tracks and meet up with them to find out what's going on.
Do you suppose this is the same supply train the Whites promised would meet us back in Irkutsk?
If the Reds intercepted it, why did they leave so much cargo behind?
Something is very fishy here.
Oh, God. What a massacre. The Reds somehow managed to overrun the White encampment.
What were they thinking to try and storm such a well-defended position?
It seems to me they didn't just try. They won.
And they're probably setting up comfortably in the trenches and machine gun nests while we ponder. Spread out and secure the encampment before they realize we're here and turn those machine guns on us.
Last of them.
It seems part of the railway track is damaged. Find a repair kit and fix it so that our train can pass. But keep an eye out for the Reds. They won't give up easily, especially after defeating the Whites. Major, the scouts I sent have returned with very disquieting news. The Reds have an enormous presence nearby, led by General Morozov. I fear he means to storm this encampment with his entire force, cold and hungry as they may be.
Prepare for the attack.
But we are poorly armed and running out of ammunition.
Yes, comrade. I am well aware of that. Our supply train will be arriving soon. That means food, medicine, and also weapons.
We were supposed to get these weapons 2 weeks ago.
Madness! The enemies captured our machine gun nests.
Prepare for the attack!
General, we must reconsider. Our losses will be severe.
What we do now, we do for Russia. It is we, the people, the heroes, who will unite our motherland. Even if it means our certain death. Forward for the motherland! For our victory!
Here they come. Stay sharp, don't waste ammo, and watch your flanks. You can't win this, Morozov. Just retreat and let us leave in peace. Think of your soldiers.
Legionnaires. I told you you'd be sorry for refusing to cooperate. Comrades! Attack!
Is he mad? Sending his soldiers into the meat grinder? For what?
He is not mad. He has no choice. He has a duty to his country, as we have to our new republic.
We could kill him and save him the trouble of impossible choices. His soldiers might have better sense and run away.
Perhaps it is worth trying. For the sake of his soldiers. So many have died already.
For Major Gazdik.
For Major Gazdik!
Forward, comrades! For the glory of Russia! Stand your ground! Not one step back! My friends, God rest your souls.
You reap what you sow.
So many dead. We managed to save some, but so few of so many. Let us return to the train. I am unable to write about the massacre. I tried. Several times, I tried. Though in the end, there was just no language for it. Suffice to say, I lost faith in our government. I was a veteran of other people's wars. A survivor. And I could not take much pride in that. Morozov, the Red General, had been defeated, it's true. But our victory came at a heavy price. So much death and misery. It was worse than war. It was senseless. What had we done? My only consolation was the courage and conviction of our commanding officer. He proved a true leader in our darkest hour. The Major kept us going through it all, instilling a quiet yet unyielding faith in the future. I suppose, in the end, you might say I became a believer too. Nevertheless, as we approached our destination, I could not bring myself to do more than advise the Major when requested. For I felt as though my life was already over, as though there was nothing left to live for. Orders, Major. We've been instructed to stop at Karimskoye Station and meet with one of the architects of our new republic. Mr. Pergler, a diplomat. He has a parcel for us to bring home. I suppose it must be important, though, of course, we have no idea what it contains. Once again, our leaders are keeping us in the dark, but insist a ship will be waiting for us. Anyway, following the exchange with Pergler, we'll need to make a decision. I've heard rumors that the day our republic was founded, we became an unacceptable threat to both the Reds and Whites, which is ridiculous. Would we freeze to death in this godforsaken place just to meddle in Russia's affairs? Isn't it clear we're fighting to return home? To our families? Anyway, enough politics. The map shows a north-south junction here. Honestly, I suspect we'll meet trouble in either direction. We may even have to start rationing supplies. Our reserves are already low, and it's unlikely we'll find much more out here. This place, it's colder than the grave. Permission to leave, Major. I have matters to attend to. My thanks.
The Whites are trying to storm a Red encampment nearby. Unsuccessfully. They're stuck on the other side of the river. Let's repair the bridge, and then assess the situation when they arrive.
Many thanks, friends. Now, let's get to the watchtower atop the hill so that we can plan our attack. We tried to capture the encampment, but to no avail. Last time, the Reds captured our captain. They took him to the storage yard outside the encampment. Please, rescue him. The Reds won't expect you.
Enemy!
If that aircraft spots us, we're done for. Get out of sight now.
Moving.
Time to move. Phew, that was close.
Thank you, Legionaries.
On the move.
More of my soldiers are hiding in the nearby woods. Let us search for them together.
You can come out now. We can take you back to safety. We should probably give Little White Riding Hood a little helping hand with those big bad wolves.
I'm under fire! These woods! These damn woods! The Reds, the wolves, the cold! Everything is trying to kill me!
Understood.
Yes, sir.
I think any others made it. The wretched Reds tortured most of us. Time to make them pay. We used to have an artillery post not far from here. We must recapture it and use it to assault the Red encampment.
If we take out their artillery and the tank, we'll have the upper hand in the upcoming assault.
This is one fine piece of machinery.
This is it. All that is left to do is attack. I will signal my troops. We part ways here, but we attack together. May God protect you, Legionaries. See you after the battle. Victorious!
Changing location.
We have established control of the Red encampment. Whoever is left of the Red Army is retreating. Well done. Let's get out of here. We all need a hot meal and a good night's sleep.
On the move.
Capturing the airfield is a bold but necessary move. The Reds won't hesitate to use the flying contraptions against us. We need to secure the headquarters. The Reds will be protecting it fiercely, so be very careful.
I heard rumors that some legionaries used to operate out of this airfield. Do you think they could still be around?
Legionaries, we're here to help. You lead, we follow.
Isn't this our lucky day?
We've secured the headquarters, but it's not going to get easier. The Reds will come down on us with a fury.
We should try seizing their fuel supply. They won't be able to fly whilst we get fuel for our journey. Win-win.
The Reds know we need this fuel, so they'll blow it all to Kingdom Come before they let us have it. Let's hurry.
Wait, is that the Red Army's flying ace? Ivan Vladimir something. The menace of the skies, they call him. Eliminating him would be a huge blow to the Reds' morale.
Say the word.
Sad. The man who ruled the skies met his end on the ground. But we will sleep more soundly on our way to Vladivostok.
Well done seizing the fuel tanks intact. Unfortunately, that's only half the job. Now hold the line and keep the Reds at bay.
Comrades, fall back! We cannot hold out any longer! Let them have the fuel! Retreat!
We have the fuel. For the Reds, that means no air support. For us, it means a cozier trip to Vladivostok. I, for one, can't wait to get back to my bunk in the heated compartment. I hope the other legionaries join us.
See? There. That is where he's hiding.
Major, that's Pergler. He must survive. He is vital in the negotiations with the Russians. We have no friends here, red or white. Let's do our best to avoid detection. There's no telling what might happen if they raise the alarm.
Yes?
Yes! Legionnaires! Then you did get my message. Then she might be alive. There is no time to celebrate our new republic. We must escape the city right now. I have procured documents of critical importance. If I die, you must deliver this package to your commanding officer. Thank you, soldiers. Let us be on our way.
For better or worse, we are ready to leave. It might not be easy to get to the train station, but once there, we can take cover in the woods nearby and wait for our train. If we can avoid the patrols, we won't have to fight. We are too close to Vladivostok to risk it. We've already lost so many.
Major, it seems the Reds and Whites are fighting to take control of the train station. Let's get out of this place while they're shooting at each other.
In the last days of our journey, many of us had become shadows of our former selves. A ragtag army, frostbitten, exhausted. The hearts of a heartless world. Holding on for our first glimpse of Vladivostok. We won our independence, spilling blood on foreign soil. Something we weren't particularly proud of. None of us knew what to expect from the land we had fought for. We felt betrayed, and already I was struggling with the idea of civilian life. Simply put, I knew no matter what, I might not survive myself. I even confessed as much to our commander, who encouraged me to commit my thoughts to paper. And so I did. I wrote 2 letters, one to my wife and one to my brother. Both a veiled farewell. I never expected to board that ship. To hear the sea, or seagulls cry, or the words of a poet rising on the wind. Onward, beloved nation, ever on. We have received a distressing telegram from our government. There is fighting in Vladivostok. The Reds have arrived in force. It's unlikely our wartime allies can hold out much longer. There are some White Army troops in the city, but they are not mobilizing to repel the Reds. If the Reds take the port, all is lost. Our soldiers must get on that ship. It's the one thing we owe them, to get them home. There's a message from our new president in today's edition of the Czech Daily, if I may. Brother soldiers, persevere through hardships. Remain united in your duty against the enemy. I believe in it, and faithfully. All for one, and one for all. Stirring words, to be sure. But we are on our own. We are the last train. I hope our soldiers survive. Under your command, I trust they will. Permission to leave, sir.
After many miles and hardships, we finally made it to Vladivostok. One last challenge remains. We must capture and hold the fort and all its artillery so the ship can come for us. Captain Korolev and his unit of the White Army are also in the city. Let's try and meet with them. Well, this is it, soldiers. Now, rally one last time for the Legion and the Republic!
Ready.
We should attempt to make contact with the local resistance. They may help us yet again. Reports indicate that an elite Red officer with a kill squad are combing the city in search for us. They have no intention of letting us leave Vladivostok in one piece. Deal with them if possible.
Legionaries, please take this truck to the warehouse. If the Reds catch us with the cargo, they will kill our families. Psst.
Take this key. It can get you into the fort via the side entrance. Now go away. I don't want anyone to see me talking to you.
Ready.
You are here for your ship, aren't you? Here's a little
Awaiting
present to
orders.
help you get into the fort.
This could be good.
The Reds just leave equipment around. They think we are all collaborators or too afraid to do anything against them.
The Reds must know I love blowing things up. Let's breach some fort walls.
Understood.
The Reds won't give up easily. Shore up the defenses and prepare for enemy reinforcements to arrive.
Here they come. Stand your ground.
Your orders?
Our position has been detected by the enemy aircraft. Let's move before their artillery tears us to shreds.
On my way.
Enemy! Behold the havoc wreaked by our savior in the sky. This is indeed the dawn of a new age. Let us press on. We've made it. Such a shame Captain Langer is not with us. Our duty is done. It's finally time to go home. Our new republic awaits.
Home. It felt like a dream from another life. And yet, it was real. The freedom we had fought and died for. We desired nothing more than to retreat into the loving embrace of our mother country, our families, our old lives. At first, I struggled with the guilt. Were we really heroes? What mark did we leave on the Russian land and its people? Their civil war raged for several years after our departure. In time, I came to accept that I survived. I even found some purpose in writing. My first book was a fictional account of what we went through, dedicated to the Major who brought us home, and to the memory of those we lost. Today, the name of the Legion still rings proud. Together, we caught the imagination of the world and found our place within it.